Well, welcome on back to another episode of Goonery. Myself and Brandon here. And as of June 4th, the Chicago Bears have officially come back to being relevant in the NFL. Chicago Bears are on this season, in season or preseason, excuse me, Hard Knocks. And Brandon, I am over the moon because the way I see this shaping up, the entire National Football League is going to hate the Chicago Bears after this is concluded. People are going to be asking themselves, we really let Carolina make that trade with them and gave the Bears Caleb Williams. I can't wait for the league to hate the Bears. It's going to feel good.
If you're hated, that means you're doing something right.
Amen.
And the fact of the matter is that when Hard Knocks gets on the air, all of the attention is going to be focused on the number one pick in the draft, and rightly so. And mostly because I mean, maybe I could say this, you could say this too. I don't think there was any legitimate character concerns, but we
No,
know from the people that are going to be watching that are casuals or just not fans of the Bears or maybe hate watching the product, they're going to try to pick out any little thing about this kid. So let's be prepared for that. But also, too, we always talk about how everything just feels different around the Chicago Bears these days. And proof of that is volunteering to be on Hard Knocks.
yep.
They're not hiding from the world. They're not making it seem like they're so buttoned up about what they do on the football operation side of things. They're not doing that nonsense anymore because, truth be told, it's that I'm not saying there's a benefit to doing Hard Knocks, but there's no benefit. There's not a downside to doing Hard Knocks either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing that now we are going to see one of the most hyped up Chicago Bears teams at this moment, because next year and the year after can be the same song and dance. But right now, this is the most hyped up Chicago Bears team in team history, and we get to see it behind the scenes too. And just think about it: if this team has a successful season combined with everything that we saw coming into the season and culminating into a good season,
Dude.
there is so much to be had here that there is just no way that you can't be excited. I don't give a damn about everything that everyone's hearing about Caleb Williams, how he's having up and down days at OTAs and minicamp. I couldn't give a shit. I really don't. So that stuff, it's all a part of the journey. And we're all going to see that shit.
And for anyone who claims to be a ball knower, as people like to say on the internet, anyone puts an ounce, or I shouldn't say an ounce, but if you truly think 7-on-7s without pads on are going to make or break a quarterback, you are out of your fucking mind.
I mean, just ridiculous.
It's everyone looks good for the most part until you get hit in the mouth.
That's
Like
right.
what happens when you put the pads on because anyone can look good in shorts. I mean, Jesus Christ, Mac Jones was a first round pick. Like it, anyone can look good in shorts. Zach Wilson, the list goes on and on and on. Caleb Williams has a proven track record on the field at the collegiate level. He's been hyped up as one of the best quarterback prospects of this century, point blank. And for all intents and purposes, from what we've seen, this team is trying to build a relationship with each other. They are supporting each other throughout the offseason. They are before OTAs, voluntarily, they're at workouts together. They're supporting each other at their camps. Caleb Williams just decided to show up to DJ Moore's wide receiver passing and receiving camp at one of the high schools on the north side of the city. For anyone who said Caleb Williams didn't want to be in Chicago and wouldn't like Chicago, just scroll through Twitter. Look up Caleb Williams and scroll through, and you'll see the videos from the past few days. This guy is out and about. Not that this is a good comparison, but he is out and about embracing this city more than any quarterback we've seen since Jay Cutler, just being amongst fans. And I know that's not the end all be all, but he wants to be here. And that's half the battle. That's half the battle.
I just think back to and this is why I've always been saying that the pre-draft process is some of the most ridiculous things that you're going to hear. And the main thing was they had to build drama. It's all it is. It's all the show business that ESPN, which by the way is having a tremendous week so far. They were at the forefront of trying to create drama, of thinking that Caleb Williams didn't want to be there and he should request a trade to the Washington Commanders because they're such an upstanding organization. And I think what we're going to see, and truth be told, I think we discussed this, but we're talking about the situation with a potential lame duck coach that Caleb Williams is going to have. And my response to those people is, if talent is truly talent, it will always win.
Mm-hmm.
And that rings true because I actually saw a quote today. I meant to send you. I meant to send you it, but I totally forgot. I'm not, because I haven't seen a clip of this or anything, but apparently Ryan Poles said Justin Fields was a quarterback you can win with, but Caleb Williams is a quarterback you win because of. And
I feel like
look,
the final boss right now. You see those?
and you know
I mean,
what? And look,
it's the truth. That is the perfect way to describe it, because for the past 3 years, all we've been hearing is you need to build weapons around Justin Fields. Give Justin Fields weapons, and you'll see him take that next step. Great, you got those weapons around Justin Fields, and he didn't really take those steps. But guess what? The weapon is Caleb Williams, and the fact that he has these weapons that you've been building up for Justin Fields, any quarterback in the NFL, when I say this, I legitimately believe any quarterback in the NFL would replace their current receiving core with the top three of the Chicago Bears.
absolutely.
And I honestly, I don't even, if we're going pound for pound, obviously individuals, it's different, but pound for
Yes.
pound, a top three of DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Romeo Odunze, you're not beating that. You are not like, I'm just saying right now, good luck to any defenses this year. Then you throw in DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet,
Mm-hmm.
Everett, an offensive line that will be improved. It's going to be scary. And we haven't even mentioned the biggest factor yet. Matt Eberflus looks like a head coach now with that beard. Hot boy Flus, as the streets are calling it. I mean, it is insane the difference that a beard can make for a man, because he went from like, who the fuck is this guy, to like, that's my head coach with the beard. That's all it took.
Not for nothing, and granted, this is very early in the process of the season, but even the way he
Teams
approaches press
caring. Yeah.
conferences is completely different. He doesn't sound like a blithering moron when he's talking. He's not trying to insult the press, trying to insult the public. He actually sounds like a guy who's in control of his team. And fact is that if you really want to look at the ending of the season for the Chicago Bears and at a partial view, he does have control of this team.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, because like I would say, because two things can be true. I can say right now, even Flus is in control, but I can also say that he's absolutely on the hot seat. If he doesn't win this year, he's out. He's going.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at it from a partial view, right now, he looks like a guy that is completely comfortable in his own skin, and that is not a guy that you saw the first 2 years, and that's extremely important too. Obviously, we need to see the product on the field because last year he had an outdated defensive scheme. Is he going to implement that with the new defensive coordinator? That to me is going to be the factor.
I agree.
And fact is that we talk about how this defense is going to be damn near elite. We need to see the product on the field. We need to see if the scheme is actually going to put everybody in the right position, because that's extremely important for Eberflus.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. It's going to be a long summer, but it's going to be an exciting summer, because for the first time in 5 years, I could say I'm not dreading this summer, this off season leading up to the preseason, and that is just a really, really good feeling.
I'm gonna be honest, because you said 5 years, it has been 5, 6 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, and I gotta tell you, back in 2018, when I was staying up late and I saw the signings of Taylor Gabriel and Allen Robinson, I said, okay, well, we're working with something. I don't know where it's going to lead to because I have questions about Mitch Trubisky, but that season ended up being just the most fun time as a
Fun
Chicago Bears
time. I
fan.
mean,
And granted, I was around in 2006. I saw it. I don't remember it as much, but 2018 really, really was just a magical ride. And one saw coming. I don't think a lot of fans saw it, and that's what made it so great. But now with what we have at our disposal, it's like, man, it's already fun. How much fun can this shit get?
it,
Like
it,
that's
we're not even at the fun part yet. They're not even on the
yeah.
field yet, and we're having fun. Like
Right right now, we're at the most annoying part. And what I mean by that is
a waiting
we're
game.
at the
This
part
waiting game.
where people are in notepads and we're gonna overreact if he throws an interception in minicamp. That's the part that's gonna kill.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy, exciting times ahead, to say the least.
Yeah.
We're gonna hop on over though, pivot here. We haven't talked about it on this show in a while, but the Paul Levesque era, it's cooking with gas, Brandon.
Yeah.
It is, in my opinion. I know there's obviously some gripes, but it's firing on all cylinders, man. I mean, we're we're heading towards Gunther as world heavyweight champion down the line, I believe. You have Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre still in the world title picture. You have CM Punk lurking to return. Probably going to screw Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle, if I'm being honest. If I
Nuclear heat. Oh my goodness.
and you have that. You have what I would say started as a lackluster feud with Cody and AJ Styles. Yeah, I know they pulled the Mark Henry bit with it. Whatever. We're just replaying 2013 John Cena all over again. That's fine. Whatever. I'm still enjoying Cody's run overall, but the only thing that I think there's two gripes I currently have with Triple H's booking.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the Raw Tag Team division. There is too much talent there for the Awesome Truth to be holding tag team gold in June of 2024. I get you wanted them to have the moment at WrestleMania. That's fine. They could have lost the titles the night after Mania, and no one would have batted an
Not at all.
no one would have batted an eye and or cared. There is just too much talent on Monday Night Raw right now, and hey, they've been having some great number one contenders, multi tag matches, and it's been a ton of fun. The tag division is where the booking is lacking on Raw, in my opinion, right now.
In both divisions.
No, you are correct. You are correct in both divisions. Yeah. And as someone who is a fan of tag team wrestling, I think when it's at its best, it is very, very hard to beat tag team wrestling. And
I agree.
you're telling me that the Creeds can't have tag team gold right now? I mean, you have DIY sitting right there. There's just so many options. I mean, hell, I'm gonna be honest, they shouldn't have split Imperium. Ludwig Kaiser and Vinci.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I want Vinci to go back to NXT. Let him have that dumb gimmick he had down in NXT when he was sent back down for a
And
bit.
it was working
It
too.
worked. It worked.
It was working.
It was dumb, but it worked. I mean, it's better than just having him sit there. I don't get why. It looks like they're pushing Ludwig Kaiser as a single star now. Got the win over Sheamus, which that's great. I'm a fan of him.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different moving parts that you just got to get the gold off Oscar. I don't know if we're on the same page there, but that's just how I feel.
They don't feel impactful as champions. And it's going to be an inevitable split in which they're going to turn Austin Theory a babyface. And truth be told, I don't know how I feel about that. And the main reason is he is just somebody that you just want to hate. And it's no good reason, no particular reason.
Well,
But
I'll tell you why you want to hate Austin Theory. It's because he's jacked to the gills and he looks like an action figure. No one wants to cheer for that guy, but I, I still think he has mega baby face potential. He's what, 25 or 26 years old?
I believe so.
I mean, he's young as hell. I personally don't hate the partnership with Grayson Waller. I think it works to an extent. I think the both of them use social media pretty well together, and that's a huge part of professional wrestling nowadays.
Yep.
But I agree, over on the SmackDown side, there's just a lot of different directions they could take that division, and I think it would benefit both Austin Theory and Grayson Waller to be single stars because both of them are more than talented enough.
Mm-hmm. I will say on the positive side of these things, I absolutely love that every week has a purpose. And it has to do with the character development.
Mm.
Look, I can't believe I'm saying this because I think if you would have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I'd say Drew McIntyre is easily the best part of Raw. Easily. Chad Gable is
Chad
easily the best
Gable,
part of Raw.
it is.
I mean, the character. I want y'all to remember something. It was just in 2019
Shorty
where
G.
Vince McMahon named this man Shorty G. And I thought he was done. I thought his career was over. Mind you, this was a man that was one match away from being the king of the ring. And they said, Shorty G works for you. What Chad Gable was doing, which, by the way, get the contract done, by the way.
Dude,
But
it has to be done. It
I think
has to be done.
yeah, 100%. But the character development of him being a tyrannical leader of this group of scared individuals, even big ass Otis, like it's amazing. Everything is amazing. And let me say too, I have to give flowers to the guy whose bandwagon I was on since day one. When he popped up at NXT and I said something's different about him. Braun Breaker is a star. He is a star. In short order, he is going to be I don't know what it'd be, Intercontinental or World Heavyweight Champion. But that is a superstar right there.
You want to know?
I hope, and look, I love Jey Uso, and he can get his way onto the Money in the Bank, all that shit. That's cool. Braun Breaker should win Money in the Bank.
You want to know who? Do you want to know who my prediction for Money in the Bank is? Genuinely,
Who?
Chad Gable.
Yeah.
I
Now I do think because here's the thing, because I know a lot of people saying the determining factor whether he will stay is whether he's going to be
Intercontinental champion or not, and I think
I don't know about that, but that would be a hell of a consolation prize.
I think I shouldn't say I think that's going to be him. I do think it's going to be Sami Zayn. I genuinely I do. I think that Gable is going to win the IC title at Clash of the Castle from Sami Zayn. And we're just going to continue the slow burn to Otis versus Gable for the IC title because I think that's the direction we're going to kind of take that in. Potentially, I mean, not really a slow burn, but probably at SummerSlam, if we had to guess. But I do think Sami Zayn is your Money in the Bank winner. I think there's a few different ways you could take it. I hadn't considered Braun Breaker as Money in the Bank, to be completely honest. What I had mapped out in my head was for SummerSlam for Braun Breaker was Adam Pearce's first match in a WWE ring.
Oh my God.
Adam Pearce and Braun Breaker.
Oh my, I mean,
I
would feel so bad for Pierce.
But with the way that this is trending, I can kind of see it. Or if if they don't want to have Adam Pearce go in the ring, because I mean, obviously I don't know if he still can, or I'm sure he can, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
If it ends up being like another shocker, like Braun Breaker versus the challenger of Adam Pearce's choosing at SummerSlam, and you have some big shocking return or debut or something. I'm
Or
just
something for TNA.
Yeah, yeah. And imagine the hoss fight between Braun Breaker and Moose.
I mean, I would hope Braun Breaker spears him in half, but
I mean, just the
that
hoss
would be
or
something.
Josh Alexander.
By the way, Ethan Page is the first domino to fall. Josh Alexander's probably going to be like right behind
I,
him
I,
very, very
I
soon.
think so
I,
too.
I can guarantee it.
I mean, if we're talking TNA, Jordan Grace and NXT, man.
I mean, it fits like a
Uh,
glove.
I mean, did you see what she's supposedly making for like 4 appearances?
I did.
And you know what? Good for her because WWE is trying to show her, yeah, we're gonna pay you whatever the fuck you want when your contract,
Mhm.
and you can come here and run this place.
And because realistically, I don't see a lane for Roxanne to win, even though she probably will. But I can't see a lane in which she would. But this tells me maybe possibly this could be like one of those debut of a
Mhm.
bigger woman that can match uh,
Yep.
Jordan Grace. I that's how I see it going. But think about it like this. This is good WWE is right now. We're going from Raw to SmackDown to
I
NXT, and
mean,
then TNA is coming to the equation. Like, I mean, this summer is going to be incredible. And by the way, also, I didn't even mention a real dark horse for the Money in the Bank. Solo Sokoa.
dude, fuck me if that happens. I like I was never sour on Solo. Like I got his purpose. But now that this dude's out here cosplaying as the weekend, I can't do it. I can't do it. It just nothing about him makes me take him seriously.
I will say, if we're talking about gripes, how that his slow burn to being like that like
I agree.
leader and
Yes.
that it needs to speed up. Literally, this was the issue I had with like when Bray Wyatt was alive and he had his slow burn with this character. It was at a point I'm just like, all right, come on, let's go. Solo, it needs to happen. He's hinting at too many things. I need to see some action. And granted, I don't want to be that fan that rushes everything. Is like fans got
Yeah,
get pissed off all the time because
you
you're not
can't
rushing
have the
everything.
instant gratification all the time, and I get it.
Exactly.
And that is a major selling point as to why Triple H's era has been so great. There's intertwining storylines, like there's constant movement and title pictures, mid card stories. I mean, everything is building towards something, and it feels like
Right.
we're building towards that next big storyline and WWE as a whole, and it's going to lead us to WrestleMania next year. And it's going to be
Yep.
Rock and Roman, and we know that. And I think we're going to get a War Games at Survivor Series with the entire family. You're going to, in my opinion, I think you're going to see Roman's bloodline versus Rock's bloodline. And I think that's the direction. I think it's pretty clear that's the direction it's in. And it's okay to be like to follow the obvious storyline at some points because people obviously want it.
Yeah.
But, oh, that's God. Solo is just such an underwhelming Money in the Bank winner to me because, in my opinion, his character doesn't necessarily need it
Right.
because the bloodline, regardless of what the storyline is going to be at the top of the card.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to be, in my opinion, he doesn't need that next elevated step for that bloodline story per se. But I also can see the argument why that could progress him if he becomes the world champ with the money in the bank. And I can see both sides, but that's just underwhelming to me. And I think that just because the string of obviously Damian Priest broke the mold, but money in the bank the past 5, 6 or so years from the men's side has just been so incredibly underwhelming where it's to the point where I'm like, all right, are we going to make the money in the bank go away for a little bit? And I would have been okay with it. So I think they're probably going to. I think they use it for a baby face this go around, and I don't know the direction they take it, but I think here's a thought. I'm talking myself through this. They'll never do it because he's the biggest baby face of this century in this company. And I genuinely believe that Cody Rhodes is a bigger baby face right now than John Cena was at his peak. And I don't necessarily think that's crazy. Just in turn, I mean, if you look at the numbers, dude, look at like the merch numbers and you look at the house show numbers. I mean, they're higher than when Cena was at his peak right now. I don't like Cody Rhodes more than Cena. I don't. John Cena's my GOAT. But from a pure dollar perspective, Cody Rhodes is drawing more than Cena did at his peak as babyface. And I don't know if they would ever go away from it, but holy shit, would I love to see a Sami Zayn cash in on Cody Rhodes, and that leads to a Cody slow burn as the Homelander character starts coming out.
Before I address that, because I had people call me an idiot because I disagree with the notion Cody's a bigger babyface than Cena. The numbers may tell the story. And granted, because I seen the numbers, I seen what the ratings were at the time, like let's say like 2007 to 2013.
Mhm.
They're pretty high until like the late,
Yeah,
later part
big.
of. But I, WWE's in a boom period right now.
They
And I
are.
think that matters.
That's
And
what
now,
I'm
granted, Cody is probably the face of that, 1000%. But I also feel like people kind of forget about how big Cena was to where he was getting movie roles, and he was so box office. He was so mainstream. And one thing I think, and this is going to be silly, but it's true, one thing that separated Cody and one thing that separates Cody and Cena is you can't see me.
Oh,
People gonna be doing that forever because of John Cena.
no, you are correct. You're 100% correct. That's a valid concern. And hey, Cody Rhodes will never be the only rapper of all time to release one album, go platinum, and never release another. So, and
Yeah, not
that was
it'll
before
never happen again.
that was before the peak too. I heard that.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard that stat the other day though. That literally seen it. I saw it on Twitter, so I didn't actually look in and seeing if it's real. Cena is the only rapper of all time to release one album, never release another, and go platinum.
Yep.
And I'm ashamed to admit that there are a few songs on that album that I unironically fuck with.
Don't be ashamed. You're not alone. You're
I
not alone. Don't be ashamed.
mean, I'll be honest. I listened to fucking Right Now on the train ride home today after work. It came up on my shuffle.
May I tell you, I think that's the best song on the album.
It's my favorite.
It's the best one. Bad Man is good, but right now, something is different about that.
This is probably the only podcast in the entire world in the year 2024 talking about John Cena's 2005 album.
And guess what? For the idiots that came at me that called me an idiot, the fact that we're doing this is proving my point.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Hey, don't fuck with us. Another banger off that. No, I think you you disproved what I just said, and I'm back on your side. But
he's on his way. He's on his way.
No, yeah, and it he'll never reach that peak because he'll never have the longevity, in my opinion.
I agree that's important too.
Because he's what, 39 years old right now, 38, 39, something like that. And
yeah, because I as much as this pains me to say this, but he could easily surpass The Rock and Austin in terms of WWE popularity. He can.
Yeah.
And that if we're talking about in the terms of longevity, he can. With Cena is just different because he was on top for a very, very, very long time.
I mean, genuinely, no one will have a run on top like that again. And I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, no, and because he did it at a full-time level for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, do you think we get a proper John Cena retirement match at Mania next year? Because I do genuinely think the clock is ticking, and I, I do think it'll be a title versus retirement match between him and Randy Orton as his send-off match.
That would be perfect. And I think it is gonna be I think that's gonna be the case. Now, one thing I will say, and maybe this is just the old school wrestling in me where I like to see the big matches, but I think we would be robbed if we don't get a Cody Cena match. A true and look,
Second
I
time this
don't know.
episode.
And look, I know people are probably going to say, "Well, he hasn't been great since coming back." I think it was a 2021, 2022. Look,
Yeah,
I
I
think Cody
yeah,
can carry anybody to a good match. I'm not worried about that.
it's just God. If we saw a John, I mean, that would be Hogan Rock level at 18 almost.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like,
And I think you that's one of those matches you have to have not in Saudi Arabia first and foremost because those
oh
crowds
my,
sucks.
oh,
But I think we need to have those in one of the overseas crowds. Like they would eat that shit up.
could you imagine that match at Wembley if they
What?
if they had a Wembley show?
Look, man, look. You thought the pop when British Bulldog beat Bret Hart was loud? No, you ain't seen nothing. Nothing.
And it's been nothing but respect from both of them in public. I mean, obviously Cody's a politician, Cena's a politician. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
neither of them are going to rip on anyone, but it's God. Now I'm thinking this. And I don't even know how they would get to that, other than Cena just coming back and saying, "I got one more in me," and I think that it would work.
I know they kind of had the blow off at WrestleMania with Cena doing an AA on Solo through the table, but maybe Cena's not done yet. Maybe he needs to redeem himself a little bit more. Maybe there's a tag team match down the line that Cody needs to pick a partner, and Randy Orton's just not available. And then boom, you owe me a favor, and I'll give you a title match.
Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it. And just in terms of returns, that Roman babyface pop this summer, when he eventually comes back, man, is gonna hit like crack in the 80s.
Let me tell you something. We have two returns this summer that's going to probably bust our eardrums out if we're listening at a very way higher level than we should. When Rhea Ripley catches
Oh
Dom
my
and
God.
Liv,
We're
oh,
gonna get another custody of Dom ladder match.
1,000%. I think it would be just a robbery if we don't
Yeah.
have something hang in the middle of the ring. Hopefully Eddie won't be screaming, "What the fuck is Vicky?" Like you know, those two pops this summer is just it's gonna be so damn electric. And maybe when I say electric, maybe get a third one. I don't know.
Oh,
Hopefully, maybe.
it's just we're in a very, very good spot. And we've been saying that for months, and it just keeps getting better. It's just like genuinely, it doesn't, it's there's no end in sight. It's as much of a boom period as we've seen since the 90s.
Honestly, I haven't felt this way about this product since 2016. Like that to me, that was like the last
Yeah,
legit
yeah.
great year. And
With,
when the
with
brands
SmackDown,
were happening,
with
everything
SmackDown
after
Live, AJ Styles, the face that runs the place, that was a
that
great
was a
year
great
for a
year.
wrestling fan. So,
And then the next 3 years happened.
okay. So here's a question I had to ask. A heel champion, in my opinion, obviously is always going to be more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a scenario where Cody gets screwed out of his title at Clash and you have AJ Styles get one last run? And because I saw something with Cody saying that he wants to have a traditional manager. He gets screwed out. by, let's just say, the Good Brothers. Fucking, they are so washed at this point, but whatever. Gets screwed by Gallows and Anderson. Cody doesn't have anyone at ringside. Short run for AJ. Cody gets the title back. Good old AA to replicate the AEW run. I don't think Cody needs a manager, but if Cody is saying he wants a manager, he's gonna get a manager. And I don't know who it would be other than Arn Anderson.
Yeah, me either. And if you have a manager in this climate, you're probably going to be a heel. Now, where do they go? Like, how do they get to that point?
Because you don't, I just don't foresee. I mean, it's Triple H era. You never know. He's okay with making storyline decisions. And especially, I think this decision becomes easier to turn Cody more into a tweener, I think, than the mega babyface that he is. Depends how long Roman's going to stick around for.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be long. He's not going to stick around for long. And the thing is, like, it would be easier if there was a guy on the roster that matched his popularity, at least at this moment.
Yes.
If it was at this moment where there was a guy that you could literally put them in the ring with one another and you're not sure if Cody's going to get the most cheers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that guy. And crazy enough, the closest guy, which not really close, is LA Knight. You're not going to put the championship on LA Knight.
Okay, that was the second gripe we never even got into was how they're booking Logan Paul in the United States title picture. And it finally seems like we're getting towards an LA Knight Logan Paul match. And if you don't put the United States Championship on LA Knight, like at this point,
big mistake.
What the fuck are we doing? Like,
big mistake.
He is literally, other than Cody and Jey Uso, the three most over people on the entire roster.
100%. And when inevitably LA Knight wins the championship, Carmelo Hayes has to be the next champion. And I don't think LA Knight should have
No, yeah, they planted the seeds, and I think I think it'll be a short U.S. title run for LA.
I agree.
And
I agree.
And they'll just push him back into the world title picture on whatever brand he happens to be at that time. And I do see at least one world title run if this popularity continues for LA Knight.
It has to happen within like 2 years at least.
Oh, yes, 100%. He's another one, Money in the Bank, I could potentially see win.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. And truth be told, he's a great babyface, but he could be a greater heel too.
Oh,
And he would be money as a heel.
I will tell you what, I have out of any wrestlers right now, from friends who are like lapsed wrestling fans or just like not really wrestling fans at all, there are two wrestlers who I consistently, I'll say three things. 3 video things and tweets that I always get sent from them saying, whoa, dude, what the fuck? Wrestling big like this again? It's the Cody Rhodes whoa. It's anything Braun Breaker does.
Yes.
I got sent the spot with him and Ricochet last night by like 2 or 3 different people just being like, dude, what the fuck is this?
Dude, last week when he came through the crowd and how fast it was, I had people who didn't watch wrestling say, who the hell is this guy? And when I told them, they're like,
that's yeah.
They couldn't believe it.
I mean, like, yeah, we can make this the Steiner math joke. He's a genetic freak. Yeah, Braun Breaker is a genetic freak. More of a genetic either of his father or his uncle. But the other thing I always get sent are LA Knight promo clips.
Yep.
He's gotten better in the ring, but I'll tell you what, like since it happened last summer, a handful of times, I've gotten the clip of LA Knight telling Ricochet and Nakamura they're as useless as basketball cleats about 5 times from different people. And like, dude, this guy reminds me of Stone Cold. Who is this? Like, it's just like the way he talks. It just sucks he's as old as he is. Because that's why there's a hesitancy.
Yeah. Which should be told, if he ever were to have a world title reign, It can be short, but people will remember it because people live for the moments,
Top
and
what's remembered.
and that's completely okay.
Yeah. Exciting summer ahead.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and hell, we got SummerSlam, we got Money in the Bank, but also college football is coming back to video games,
I
and
will I will tell you, this summer, I do not have a PlayStation anymore. I am in the market for a PlayStation again,
there you go,
solely because
there you go.
of NCAA football coming back. And I was a little upset to see that the high school portion
Yeah,
of Road that because I love playing Road to Glory.
yeah,
Obviously, everyone likes Dynasty, but Road to Glory is such a nice changeup.
I agree.
And gone are the days of me taking I would make like my favorite thing to do. I would make a quarterback who is like I would either make them either the tallest guy you can make them or the shortest you can make them, and I would be from the middle of Wyoming. And my guy's name, I would switch off on names, but a lot of the time it was Leaf Columbus. I just combined Leaf Erickson and Christopher Columbus's names, and I would win four Heisman's as a 5'7" or 8" quarterback, and that was a nice change up.
It does suck high school teams not being in it, but knowing that people are going to try to bid you away from the school that you committed to is going to be a hell
Oh,
of a run.
isn't that insane?
I mean, look, I already have it mapped out. Virginia Tech for 2 years, Michigan for the next two.
Get
That's
that bag. Get that bag.
yeah. I can't wait. That's gonna be the. I said, look, vacation probably not gonna happen. I will be taking off of work on the 13th of July. It's I'm back in the gaming. I'm back. I feel like I'm in high school again.
It's so if on Dynasty mode, who's the first team you're taking over?
I'm doing a team builder team.
Oh,
I'm doing a team builder.
okay.
So for my peoples who've been rocking with NCAA 14 for how many years, just like me, I am in 2033 of my team builder dynasty with 12 national championships, about 6 in a row. So we're gonna continue that. We're gonna change. I'm gonna change the team and colors and all that because I was a high schooler. I didn't have no type of artistic craft whatsoever. But that's going to
What's
continue. Well, of course, we're gonna go dual dynasty
oh
with
yeah.
team building in Michigan. We're gonna do that.
Who walk me through your team builder team from 14? Where's it
So,
located? What's its name? Got to know the color scheme.
well, the coach is yours truly,
Of course, of course.
and we are based in New Jersey, in Jersey, New Jersey, which we don't have the infrastructure for a big ass stadium, but I make it work.
Well, you made it work, of course.
And we have a,
Was it stadium style 7? With
you
the
know, I put the biggest stadium possible because I just pure imagination. But we have a black and red color scheme. We also have a gray option, and we have an all red option, white and black.
was there a little contention with Rutgers with that color scheme?
So funny you mentioned Rutgers. We have a little game every year, every second or third game of the year at MetLife. So there's a literal
Ooh.
clash of state cities, Piscataway and Jersey City, which Piscataway simply does not compare. And and we were we was in an American conference for a very long time, but
Yeah.
we got bored. So we said, let's go to the Big 12. But unfortunately, Oklahoma and Texas decided to run to the SEC. So we didn't have really great competition. So yeah, 2033, I think I'm going to finish that franchise prior to this game coming out, and I can retire on top like I intend to do.
Not bad. Impressive. I mean, that's all the resume you need. If the Bears are in need of someone to come in and whip this locker room into shape, Eberflus doesn't work out, you can make the jump.
Only if. You could just export guys over to Madden, but they included the one part that everybody was
I
looking forward
know.
to, and the one reason why you would think they put that stuff in a bundle, but no,
I know. Yeah.
sucks.
Damn shame. It is a damn shame. I know personally, I will if and when I get it, I think I'll be taking over Texas State. I love just taking over a horrible, horrible franchise. I mean, back in the day, it used to be I did Air Force sometimes. I would
Oh
do
God, that offense. Oof.
I would change the offense.
Oh, thank God.
I would change the offense. But that'd be like, oh, although I had friends who would only do it with triple option teams. I'm like, how do you find that fun?
That
Like,
can't be.
like
Can't be.
I have a friend who legitimately I like he's a huge football fan. He knows what he's talking about, but his favorite type of football to watch is 13-7 Big Ten rock fights. And he just like he loves to watch people run the football. He's a big let's establish the run. And he's had seasons, I know, with his NCAA dynasties where he throws less than 60 passes. And he enjoys it. Hey, and if that's what you enjoy, he knows it will never work in the real world. But in a video game, he goes, "This is my ideal football."
I won't insult him because that is your friend, but he's kind of insane.
Oh yeah,
But let me ask you a personal question about him. Is Army and Navy his favorite rivalry in college football?
honestly, no, which is kind of crazy. Like
I'm shocked. I'm
he
very shocked.
he loves the game and he enjoys watching it every year. But no, he's a Notre Dame fan. So he yeah, shocker.
Made it hard for me tonight. So.
Yeah, he's a Notre Dame fan. So
Oh man. Sheesh.
yeah.
Triple option. Wow. That's different.
Never been for me. Never been for me.
I hate playing against them, that's for sure. I mean, they're the
Oh.
hardest to stop.
Oh, and before we wrap, I saw someone on Twitter complaining about run scheme blocking in the videos that they saw of the video game clips.
Mitchell Schwartz, right?
Yes, there's Mitchell Schwartz. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's a
It's a
video
video
game.
game, dude.
Who is paying attention to blocking schemes on inside zone versus outside zone? Are we really like
Like, come on now.
like
Come on now.
touch grass, man? No one cares. Everyone just wants to have a good time.
Literally. And lead people to that.
Yep. Yep. But with that being said, this is going to wrap this week's episode. Ooh,
Oh, I before we wrap, want to share a message. So Chip Foley just sent me a free meal code. That's fake. Anyways, so I wanna go on a serious note here. June is Men's Mental Health Month, and this is a very, very touchy subject for anyone to open up about because it is simply just a lot of factors can be in play, whether it be just past trauma or anything else that just doesn't help people to open up. So I want to do my part in helping people open up by opening up to everybody that does listen to this. I am the jokester of the tandem that is me and Ben, but also I have been dealing with mental health issues for 15 years. And it is something that I have battled with every single day. Every day is a battle. And no matter what, it is something that, I would let eat me alive, but also I had to tell myself I have to win because there are people that love me and there's people that I love, and I don't want to ever put myself in a position where I want to hurt the people that's around me. And what I want to tell everybody is there is a stigma around men's mental health that is very skewed, and it comes from different forms of life, different walks of life. There are people that's going to tell you that the mental health crisis is a hoax, and there's people who are advocates for it. But what I want to tell people is for those that believe it is a hoax, that it is not. Those same people who say it is deal with things too. they won't ever admit it because their ideology is to get up, go work because no one gives a shit.
Only gives you.
And you may think no one gives a shit, but you don't know until you open up. You don't know until you say something. And what I would urge everybody to do, and even if you can't garner up the courage to do it on a public forum or anything, talk to your friends, talk to a therapist. If you have the means to talk to a therapist, go do that because it is extremely important to protect your mental health. And it's one of the things that we talk about as men that people don't care, but we have to stop thinking that people don't care. And we have to keep opening up and keep the conversations open about these things because that's the only way we are going to prevent suicide rates from skyrocketing like it has been over the past couple of years. And once we have those conversations, we're going to be all right. And if nobody tells you that they care about how you feel, I care. So I just want to end it on that.
Amen to that, brother. And I would agree with you that I do think that it's being destigmatized a bit. As someone personally who has gone to therapy, who has been on an SSRI, it helps. There is light at the end of the tunnel. People care. They want to help you and be with you and support you through it. And honestly, if you don't feel comfortable enough to reach out to someone in your personal life, our Twitters are linked down here. DM us. Who cares? We'll both respond, and I guarantee that.
And I echo that.
Amen to that. I know that for some people, they might not like that ending, might be a little too heavy. Who cares? It's an important subject. Happy we brought that up. And that's a great wrap to our show. We'll see you next time.